to the flag of the
Can I open the meeting first?
States of America.
He's got
Ingram
it
Borough
open.
Council meeting of September 14th will now come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mayor Stetz.
I pledge allegiance to the
Oh,
flag
uh,
of the
of the
United States
States
of America,
to
to the republic for which it stands,
one
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
And please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of all the victims of 9/11. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Nucci,
Here.
Mr. Butler, Ms. Dixon,
Here.
Mr. Fasay,
Here.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Taylor,
Here.
Mrs. Wilford,
here.
Mayor Stetz,
Here.
Solicitor Garvin.
Here.
Okay. Do we have any requests for citizens to be heard today?
One from me, Sam.
Okay.
I would like to publicly thank Steve Palmer and the combined crews of the Public Works of Ingram and Crafton for that amazing job they did clearing that gigantic tree that came down on Maine's Gate a couple weeks ago. That was a great job.
That could have been a catastrophe. It turned out that it wasn't. I
It
know you
was.
guys were without power for a little while, but it wasn't. It could have been way worse.
Yes, it could have been. So
Okay,
I just wanted to thank them all for that.
Thank you.
That's it.
Okay. This isn't really the time for this, but I know Lori probably wants to get going. So we have some things to do with Lori here. Lori, I'm not sure how we're going to do this oath of office thing. I spoke to Lori previously about us getting together to sign off on all those things. Maybe it'd be best to appoint, do these motions. Tim has these motions. Do these motions, and when I get together her sign, Sharon, I can just do this oath of office with her during the day when we sign this off. We don't have to do that now, right, Bob? The oath of office. I can just get together with her.
Right.
Yeah. So Tim can. I think Tim has these motions.
A motion to adopt resolution number 8 of 2020, appointing Lorraine Rhetoric as tax collector for the Borough of Ingram. Her term expires on January 1st, 2022.
22.
Any questions on the motion?
Who was the second? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pete.
Pete. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford, Mr. Nucci, Mr.
Yes.
Butler.
Yes.
I didn't see you come in, Greg. I'm sorry.
That's okay, yes, thanks.
Okay. Great.
A motion to adopt the resolution number 9 of 2020, approving the appointment of Jordan Tax Service as the deputy tax collector to collect the borough's real estate taxes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Mr. Fasay. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford,
Yes.
Mr. Nucci.
Yes. Lori, I don't know what's a good time for you. Maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, earlier than better.
Tomorrow I can meet you at Ingram parking lot
Okay.
if you want to do that.
Okay.
Rendezvous.
Yes, a rendezvous.
What time?
I don't know, you pick.
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Yeah, we'll get all this stuff signed and get it done.
Okay.
Thank you,
What's
Lori.
tomorrow? Okay.
You
All
know
right.
what, Lori, can you send me your email address, because I have to work on your bond, and the girl that takes care of it is not in the office. She won't be back till Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, we can take care of all that stuff tomorrow if you can't get that out today, Lori. Okay, thank you, Lori.
And
All right.
Lori, if you don't have Debbie's email, I'll send it to you.
Oh, if you would, yeah. You know what? I do have it. It's in my memory.
Okay, we'll just forward it to one of us and we'll get it to her. Okay, thanks,
Okay.
Lori.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right, engineers report, Mr. Flaw.
Thank you, Mr. President. A few things to go over tonight. The 2019 road program, which is Wheeler Avenue. You can see there's a pay application later on in the agenda. For that pay app, the contractor replaced 7 storm inlets and then has excavated a road and installed from stone from Sterling past Creston. Contractor did hit a layer of rock about 16 inches deep for the first portion of the road. We had originally spec'd to take out 20 inches, so we had to shrink down the section some. But it is on rock, the first part of the road. We're also running into some gas service lines that are less than 20 inches too. But we've been able to work around it so far. 2020 road program, that's the micro servicing with Caruso. They contacted me regarding the schedule for that. The borough building parking lot is on the list. Do you see any issue if we do that, micro surface the parking lot while the Wheeler project is going on? Is there residents from Wheeler parking in the borough lot?
I don't think so, but how about maybe Karen, I don't know, I could talk to you in the morning. Maybe we can have Jack check plates in the morning and see if anybody's parking there, but they're really not up into the
No,
residential part of Wheeler yet.
They've been parking on Sterling Street.
Okay. Well, how about if I check with Jack early in the morning and maybe he can check plates at maybe 6 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever and see if anybody's parking there. And if not, then Karen, you okay with them starting the microsurfacing?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it
really
needs
the
to be
only
done
holdup.
before election.
Yeah. Well, it's only like a half a day thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We can't obviously have it on election day, but so they'd only be tied up for like a half a day, right, to do the parking on.
Right.
Okay. So let me follow up with Jack about that. And then I'll get, if you don't hear from me, give me a call sometime during the day and we'll go from there.
Okay. Good.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Brian?
Yeah. We prepped the designs and the specs for the ADA ramps that are part of the year 46 CDBG grant. The bids are scheduled to be received at the Char West COG on September 29th. Also in the 2020 SHACOG contracts for the sanitary sewer work. The CCTV and the spotlighting field work is completed. I've not seen any videos or from the contractors yet, but the field work is completed for the TV and the spotlighting. One last thing too, Gateway is working on providing our clients with some information regarding different types of grants that are available. So we're teaming up with sub-consultant to prepare a list of grants that are available, along with a monthly update that'll highlight some eligible projects, some due dates, etc. So once we get that rolling, I can bring those grants up at different meetings, either council or HHS. We can maybe identify a few projects and maybe help out with the grant application. And that'll
That's a
be
good idea, Brian.
Thanks.
That's a
Sam.
really good idea.
That'll be no cost to the borough either. It's something we're doing for all of our clients. So
Thank you.
it was a recommendation by a certain client, so it was a good one.
Smart.
Yeah.
Right.
Really smart.
Real smart.
Really super smart.
Wonder where
Okay.
that came from.
Samantha, do you want to mention to Brian about the year 47 stuff?
So we had submitted applications for the year 47 block grant through the Char West COG, and included in that was to add a water fountain near the tot lot up by the borough building, and to improve the borough building's water fountain to make them more ADA accessible. Anything we use that grant money for had to be specific to ADA. Also, we are looking to use, hopefully, monies we get from there to resurface the walking trail and, well, I shouldn't say resurface, to make repairs to the walking trail in Foster Park.
You're going to resurface it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what I'm, so I didn't mean to say that out loud.
Yeah.
Threw me off. I have it written down for later.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
have
Well, I
that
just want to
written
mention
down.
it, Brian. So Gateway prepared the specs for the fountains and then for that. So, I mean, that's a process. I'm guessing well, I'll give you an example. Right now, we're just bidding out the year 46 stuff that was in a year ago. So it would be probably sometime around this time next year that they would actually be awarding and speccing those things out, although we're pretty much done with it as far as the spec end is concerned. But we'll know probably after the first of the year about the funding, and then it takes forever and a day to get it. But hopefully those two things come through. So. All right, anything else, Brian?
That's all I have.
Any questions for the engineer?
Yeah, Brian, is there any timeline on Whalers when they're going to be complete?
It's going a little slower than we had all hoped. I think he probably has another week and a half or 2 weeks probably to dig out the road and get the stone down. And then paving should only be 3-4 days maybe. So I'm looking at 3 weeks ballpark. And that's weather depending also. The gas lines are slowing them down, the service lines, because some of them are pretty shallow. So they got to take their time every time they come up to a service line. So
yeah, we had another delay too because we couldn't get materials for the sewer gratings and stuff like that, the sewers, and it's not available. So that's all straightened out now. So there was some, we always try to do all this, any sewer work when we're resurfacing like that. So there was some delays on that for whatever reason. That stuff wasn't available. We were able to track all that down, and yeah, moving forward. It's not setting any records, but we're moving forward.
Deb, are you getting any complaints?
Yes. Oh, yes.
If you threw money in the street, you'd get complaints.
Some of them are just, it's some of them you can understand and you feel for them, and others are utterly ridiculous.
I met with a resident last week who filed her 700th complaint about it, and she suggested that we do like 50-foot sections. We mill it down, get the concrete down, and then pave, and then move down and do 50 more feet, and then move down and do 50 more feet. So we'd pave it 50 feet at a time, so that it wouldn't inconvenience anybody.
Because we lied in our flyer when we said it would be done in phases.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's never ending. But anyway, so yeah, we're getting there. Anything else for Brian? Okay. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks.
All right. Committee reports. Mr. Smith's not here. He wanted me to mention, I spoke to him today. He wanted me to mention, and I'd like to thank the committee. The dumpster pod ordinance is pretty much done. I hope we're on like draft 17. That's pretty much done. And then the committee has been working on separating out those bagsters that was originally in the dumpster ordinance, separating that out. So that's been a tedious process. And so that ordinance, I don't think is going to be too much longer before that's ready to go. And then he mentioned that the committee wants to start working on the ordinances associated with the rental inspection program, like occupancy permits and things like that. So that was what he asked me to bring up tonight. Did Pete or Greg, do you have anything to add to zoning?
Nope, progress.
Yep, progress. Definitely progress. Okay, thank you. General government, Mr. Butler.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just have a short report, mostly planning again. So we, as a planning commission, Ingram Planning Commission has set up 5 interviews of the 7 proposals we received for the planning grant for the bus near the busway. So we knocked 2 of them out of contention based on the proposals. And we're going to interview 2 on Friday. No, I'm sorry, 2 this Thursday, 1 on Friday, and 2 next Tuesday. And then hopefully that will result in a recommendation next October at our next meeting. Also, with the other zoning rewrite grant, that was submitted early or like towards the middle of last week. Just wanted to let you know that was sent in. I guess we'll sit on that for a while, see if we hear anything from the DCED. That's for the zoning rewrite with Crafton. Savvy Citizen is, we're all registered. So Jack and Steve and Edna all have, and Sam, I think as an administrator have.
Not yet.
Okay, not yet, but Jack,
For
Steve,
me,
and
the
Edna,
other ones are.
yeah, they have access to it, so they can now post messages. The company also sent some. They're working on some advertising to gain some, residents to sign up. I think we have, Sam, you said we have over 500 members already.
Yes, I think she said there was around 500 Ingram people that are already signed up, I guess, through Crafton's, but they're Ingram residents.
Right, so that's a pretty good chunk to get started with.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna look in and see what the, like the emergency capabilities are of Savvy Citizen. I didn't ask that during the, during the interview with them. I know where I work in Elizabeth, they have the ability to tap into the chief does, chief of police has the ability to tap into the state system if he needed to, or somehow forward higher level emergency alerts into the system. So I thought that would be nice if we could do that. I'll find out. And if we can, I'll let Jack know that he's able to do that. That's really it. I have one note here to thank. So my neighbor's tree fell behind my house, almost hit Ron's house. It actually didn't damage anything. It damaged one of Adam's trees, but it was a pretty big tree that fell over. And that Monday, our public works department in Crafton's came and cleaned it up with incredible efficiency. So I just want to thank them. It was really kind of cool to watch these guys work together. Just throwing it out there that we have a really good public works department. I think we all know that, but let's not take it for granted. And the guys in Crafton were just wonderful. So I just got to experience it, and I just thought I'd throw that out. That's all I have.
All right, any questions for general government? Okay, thanks, Greg. Highways, Health and Sanitation, Ms. Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, Brian gave our report, so I'm just going to move forward with our motion. I have a motion to authorize payment to El Grande Industries in the amount of $41,805.11 for work completed on Wheeler as per the engineer's letter of September the 9th, 2020.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded by Mr. Fasay. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford,
Yes.
Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
And that's all I have tonight.
Great. Any questions for Highways, Health and Sanitation? Thank you, Karen. Parks and Recreation, Mrs. Wilford.
Thank you, Mr. President. We already talked about the grant money. I have two other things to bring up. Crafton's Park and Recreation Department reached out to me to see if we would be interested in, if any of our residents would be interested in doing a family-friendly haunted house drive-through tour. So basically it was similar to when people drive around to see Christmas decorations, but in this case it's Halloween decorations. And they also wanted any participants to come up with a little story in regards to their house, whether it's a story about the decorations or maybe a haunted ghost story and to go with the holiday. So I did put that out to the residents yesterday on Facebook. It is a quick turnaround for the application. They just want to know who's all involved so they can set the driving course, because whenever you sign up to be on it, your address will go into with them, and they will map out a course for those that are participating in driving through, and also link the stories to the house so that they can play when you are nearby that house. You would click on something when you got outside of the house, and then you would hear that story. Also in regards to Halloween is trick-or-treating. So I have a little flyer that's a half-sheet flyer. I know we talked about putting out a larger flyer with some more information, but this is the trick-or-treating component. I'm just going to read to you what it says. I had sent out an email last week, and I have responses from suggestions from some of you, so I just wanted to put this out there before I get it online to residents. It says, due to the continued efforts to social distance, Ingram will not be holding the annual parade and costume contest. Trick-or-treating will be held on Saturday, October 31st from 2 to 4 p.m. Public safety vehicles will be patrolling borough streets to monitor traffic and to keep the trick-or-treaters as safe as possible. For everyone's protection, please consider the following safety measures. We strongly recommend residents to please not host any event that might encourage groups to congregate on your property. When walking with trick-or-treaters or passing out candy, please wear masks. When walking with trick-or-treaters, please practice social distancing. If you choose to pass out candy, please consider leaving a bowl out and not handing children candy directly. Use hand sanitizer and practice not touching your face. Don't share props, toys, or candy bags. And try to trick-or-treat in smaller groups this year. So that information will go online. I know a bunch of residents have been asking in regards to trick or treating. So we cannot, cancel the holiday, but we want to encourage people to be as safe as possible if they choose to trick or treat.
That might be a good thing to start on the Savvy Citizen with.
Yep.
We can talk with, maybe try to get Edna to get that posted tomorrow, and we'll work on that. If you're good with the wording, let me know when you have a final draft, if that's the end of it, and we'll get that on.
Okay.
And then maybe keep reposting as we get closer and closer, maybe even weekly or something. Keep reposting it as people
Sounds
jump
good.
in.
And like I
And
said,
also
I know
on the
we-
website.
And we want to, I don't know if we want to do a paper flyer to residents sooner, but Savvy Citizen and online will probably be our best bets for right now.
Yeah, well, we had talked about a flyer, actually I have in my report, but I was thinking if we did a flyer, we put that on there and the Savvy Citizen sign up. And I know the committee's been working hard on some garbage ordinances and things like that, then maybe some of these ordinance updates that we can put on there. Just so, because how many people are still putting garbage out in plastic bags that are getting torn up and putting bags in their front yards and things like that. So, some of these later ordinance changes and maybe some updates on, with fall coming, with the leaf schedule or something. I mean, we'll have to do a little work and try to get this out as soon as possible. But I think those are good things for a flyer, and we should get them on.
Put them all on one is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Post all the stuff on Savvy Citizen on the website or Facebook or whatever, but also hand something out too. Because I don't know how many people really read through all that stuff, and I'd like to get that thing out about the garbage. I know the committee worked real hard on those garbage ordinances, and it's a big problem. If you walk around passing out flyers, you see how many people just sort of drop garbage bags in their front yards, and it's a mess. Or put them out and they're torn up the next day, and so some of those things put on the flyer and get them out. We can do something like that pretty quickly, quick turnaround. I know some people live on Linshaw, maybe could pass out some flyers, and I'm sure we can get them out. There's a lot of people with free, yeah, I heard you. There's a lot of people with free time on their hands now, so I'm sure we can get these flyers out. Okay, Samantha, anything else?
That is all I have.
Okay, any questions for Parks and Recreation? Thank you, Samantha. Finance, Mr. Taylor.
Yes, Mr. President. Several motions. A motion to ratify the payment of August 13th, 2020 payroll in the amount of $24,800.36. The August 27th, 2020 payroll in the amount of $25,821.94. And the September 10th, 2020 payroll in the amount of $25,296.86.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Fasay. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford,
Yes.
Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
A motion to ratify the payment of expenses on August 11th, 2020 as follows. General fund, $332.38. And the payroll fund, $2,655.67.
We have a second.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded by Mr. Fasay. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Butler,
Yeah.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford,
Yes.
Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
A motion to ratify the payment of expenses on August 25th, 2020 as follows. General fund, $10,918.14. Recreation fund, $99.95. And the sanitary sewer fund for $144,841.68.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Fasay. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford,
Yes.
Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
A motion to ratify the payment of expenses on September 8th, 2020 as follows. General fund, $336.05. Payroll fund, $97.04.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Fasay. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford,
Yes.
Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
A motion to pay the expenses for September 14th, 2020 as follows. General Fund, $100,855.63. Recreation Fund, $1,711.76. Sanitary Sewer Fund, $3,041.43. Payroll Fund, $2,106.61. And the Liquid Fuels Fund, $4,258.
Second.
Motion's been made, seconded by Mr. Fasay. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford,
Yes.
Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
A motion to adopt the resolution number 6 of 2020 approving the 2021 MMO for the police pension plan in the amount of $68,224 even.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Fasay. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Wilford,
Yes.
Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
A motion to adopt the resolution number 7 of 2020 approving the 2021 MMO for the non-uniform pension plan in the amount of $10,029 even.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mr. Fasay. Any questions on the motion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
Ms. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Fasay,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes,
Mrs. Wilford,
Yes.
Mr. Nucci.
Yes.
that's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, any questions for finance?
Yeah, I have a quick one real quick. I
Yes,
have to leave in 3 minutes. Tim, I was wondering what the plan was to go review the budget for next year.
I put out an email. I haven't heard back from any of the committee chairs yet. But we need to start putting together budgets if there's anything unusual. And then once I have that, I'll feed that to Debbie. Debbie generally puts together the majority of the budget, except for anything that is unusual. And I know the Police and Fire Department Committee is working with Chief Doherty to come up with some requests or needs that they see coming forward. I have not yet heard back from anybody else.
Okay.
When did you send that approximately, that email?
I don't know off the top of my head. It was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, but
I was just going to say that I don't remember getting it, but I do remember getting it, but it was a while ago.
Yeah, I'll look for it. I probably have a few things, so.
Yeah, well, we're at that time of year.
Yeah, well, you can
if you
put in
like,
a-
I can resend it.
No, I think
that-
everybody knows
You know
now. I
what it
mean,
says.
everybody
You guys
knows. I mean,
know.
everybody's here. I mean, it's basically the same thing as what we normally do. And if you got anything unusual, then we need to budget for that stuff. So
Yeah, how about
everybody
a
knows.
battery for the wall clock in here?
It's called a battery.
Yeah. Battery for the wall clock. Put it in
All right, thanks, Tim. I gotta run. See you
All right,
guys.
thanks, Greg.
there.
Thank you.
See you. All righty. Police and Fire, Mr. Fasay. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Mr. President. Several things. One is there were 3 fire calls last month. August 6th, residential fire alarm turned out to be a no fire. August 12th, utility complaint, wires down, company notified. August 15th, fire pit complaint, fire put out, and it was after hours. And that's pretty much it for the fire response.
Speaking of, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Pete, but I think maybe a reminder about fire pits should be on that flyer also. I'm
Yeah.
saying it now, so hopefully somebody else remembers.
And maybe even fireworks, just something.
Yeah, there's been a lot of noise on Facebook about the fireworks.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Yeah, so I think we'll just put something on there too, just.
Yeah,
just to
it's
cover
not
it.
a good reflection on the community. So, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, all right, so one thing that sort of brushed on is that he's on the committee, and we just notice from Sam and Debbie that there is a grant possibility for body cameras for the officers. So Jack had just sent some meeting times for later this week. We're allowed up to about $2,000 a camera, and it can include certain operational costs to them also. So I think it's something that we need to look at. I think we need to go ahead and put in for the grant. So we have a tight deadline, which is October 15th is the deadline for the grant. So we're going to try to get stuff going here in the next couple of weeks, get it written up. Anybody who wants to help with reviewing some of this would be great. And we're going to, cross our fingers to see if we can't get something working well.
Yeah, I got that actually came from Dan Deasy's office. So Pete, maybe I can give them a call. Maybe we can meet with them and see what kind of help we can get with that.
Yeah, my plan, you saw the email I sent out to the committee. I think we need to find, sort of like needs and uses. The chiefs had some experience with cameras, so I think we can have a rather lengthy list of things that they don't like so we can make sure that we're in the right direction. It seems pretty open as to what you can buy. It just has to be a normal procedure for this. So it looks like we have the ability to get what we want and what will work. It also looks like part of this is scored on things such as follows, how you're reviewing, things like that. So it's more than just the camera that they're looking for, and there seems to be some sort of continuum that they look at. And I don't know where they or how they evaluate that 2 years down the road, but that's something that needs to be done. There's be some questions that can be asked to resolve those types of concerns.
It's sign of the times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, maybe, Pete, if you're not busy digging holes in your yard, maybe we can meet with Dan Deasy's office and maybe get some advice from them on getting started with it.
That's
You
how I
trying
take
to
care
be
of
a
my neighbors.
gopher?
No, I take care of my neighbors' complaints that way.
Gopher.
Anyway, that's all I
Okay.
have.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Any questions for police and fire? Thank you, Pete. Mayor's report, Mayor Stetz.
Thank you, Mr. President. We received $1,269.44 from the magistrate's office for the month of August, and we had 181 calls.
That's good.
That's my report. Yep, it's good. It was down.
Yeah. Any questions for the mayor? Thank you, Mrs. Mayor. Secretary's report, Mrs. Stecco.
Thank you. I will be attending a Zoom meeting on September 29th. It's being held by Municipal Benefits Group, and the meeting will cover our renewal rates for the health insurance, as well as training to use a new portal that they're going to use for the benefits. I did submit the 2 CDGB grants to the COG for the water fountains and the walking trail. I also applied for and received funding for a grant through the CARES Act. And I am working on finding out if Lorraine's tax collector bond can be extended, or if she has to go ahead and apply for a new one through the bonding company. And that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions for the secretary? Thank you, Debbie. Solicitor's report, Mr. Garvin.
Just 2 quick things. One is I'd like to follow up on that 38 Joel Street demolition. I sent a letter to the last known address for the property owner, and I think it's a pretty good address. He's in Crafton Towers, with a consent form rather than having to go to court to file a complaint and getting a court order. That letter's out for about 2 weeks. He hasn't responded. And I think we might have a lead on a daughter that might hold a power of attorney. They should probably have a thing to sign for him to consent to the demolition. So I need to follow up on that. And I think Samantha is going to try to get me some contact information for the daughter. Also, if you do proceed with the body cameras, and after the police are trained, we need to adopt a formal policy, or the police department needs to adopt a formal policy for their use and protection of the materials obtained with respect to videotaping. And that's, there's a pretty good one by the Chief of Police Association that I've seen and reviewed, but that needs to be implemented before you hit the switch on any of those cameras.
Well, yeah, and actually they're looking at wanting that as part of the proposals. What you have is what you're going to be doing going forward. So yeah, those are some of the details. So thank you, Bob, for that.
Good, and that's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, any questions for the solicitor?
I do just one. We talked about the ball field, or not the ball field, but the batting cages at the park, and as to what we need to do to try to secure the area and get this area cleaned up. Where do we go? Where do we go? I mean, we obviously have I'm going to call it derelict property. I mean, it's just terrible.
Let me just interject there real quick. I forget who sent it to me. I don't know if it was Sharon or somebody sent me a contact person, and truthfully, Pete, I forgot all about it.
I contacted them.
Oh, you did? You did?
I contacted Sam Strom with CIT, and he said he would take it to their board, and I haven't gotten a response back on that, but I actually might see him tomorrow. So I can.
Okay, so we'll definitely follow up on that.
Come on, person.
Because that building needs a ton of work
Yeah,
if not taken down, and the cages definitely need taken down.
Right.
I
So,
emailed
I mean,
him
this-
once and didn't get a response, and then I emailed him again saying, "Did you get a response on this?" And I haven't heard. But now that school's back in session, there's a chance I could see him
Okay.
daily.
Wondering whether or not it should be just pick a little harder and maybe a letter from the solicitor, just saying we are interested in what we can do to resolve this issue. I mean, you've obviously made some phone calls. They said they're going to discuss it, but
Well, let's see if they get back, and then that's probably not a bad idea. Maybe we can send them something.
It can be polite. It can be a
Yeah.
polite.
Yeah. Well, let's see what he has to say, because I doubt if they were having meetings throughout the summer anyway. So we'll see where we're at. So yeah, that's a good idea. We definitely need to follow up on that because that's become a real eyesore down there.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Anything else for the solicitor? Okay. My report here. I really don't have too much. We covered the Savvy Citizen and the budget stuff and the flyer stuff. Anybody has any ideas about the flyer? Let me know. We'll incorporate some of those things and try
Do
to
you
get
want to
something
set
on.
a date on that though?
Yeah. If I don't hear anything by the end of the week, I'm putting something together. So all suggestions will be this week, and I'd like to get a final draft by this weekend and maybe
By
print it
Friday,
out.
September 18th at 2:00.
Boom.
I'll use the teacher voice.
There you go.
Friday, September 18th at 2:00.
We'll get something on. So I'll be talking to Rick and the committee about what ordinances they want to put in. If anybody else has any suggestions, we'll get all that stuff in. The only other thing I have, I just want to give you guys a quick, hopefully quick COG report. The employees are back to work for the COG. We saved a considerable amount of money with them being off, but we lost a considerable amount of money on the Vector rentals. So it's about a push, but the good thing about it was with the Vector rentals, last year was about $135,000, and this year, but I only budgeted $115 just to be safe, and the real number is going to end up being about $105. So we're going to be about 10 short, but we saved a bunch of money on salary, so we're going to be net ahead of the game. But the problem with the Vector rentals was we lost a couple of weeks early on with the COVID thing. We had to cancel like the first 5 weeks, and only a few of those communities rescheduled, so we lost a few weeks there. But then McKeesport, who used to take 5 weeks, got their own Vector, so that's a big chunk. That's $25,000 just about right there. So moving forward, we're okay, but we're not going to have the salary savings moving forward. Although the Vectors, we're still in the black, and the salary savings, it's going to more than offset that for this year. But that's just something to think about. I don't know where it's going to go, but we're going to be fine for this year. We're going to be fine for next year. We're going to take a hit. Probably like all of us are going to, all the communities are going to take a hit on the RAD money. That's about $16,000 for the COG. It's going to be zero next year. So, and I don't know how it's going to affect ours, because the COG's money is based on the overages for the member municipalities. So there's no way anybody's COG or RAD money is going up. So there's like zero chance that the COG's going to get any of that money. So for the short term, we're okay. Next year, we're okay. There's money in the bank too, but I don't think that's going to need to be touched. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on the COG stuff. So it's not great, but we're okay. Everything's moving. We're starting the meetings again on Thursday. Karen, you got that? Karen?
Yeah.
Meetings Thursday. I sent you the stuff. If you need it, give me a call. So that's all I have. Any questions for me?
Hey, one question on the flyers.
Yeah.
I would suggest that you do 2 separate flyers. You can pass them out at the same time, but have them on 2 different colors, piece of paper or something, to differentiate the stuff about the Halloween and the stuff about the different resolutions or things that are going on. The resolutions, I guess.
Well, generally what we do is I would take a piece of paper, fold it like this, and this would be Halloween. This could be Savvy Citizen, and then the back page could be just like miscellaneous information. And it would be folded like this. So when you look at it, it's Halloween and Savvy Citizen. And then the back would have all that miscellaneous stuff. I don't know that that's a bad idea, but I don't know what the advantage of having it on two.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's separated, so it's not just a
Oh,
continuation.
no. It would be like
Yeah.
this. It would be when we pass them on, it's like this is we fold them, and this is Halloween, this would be Savvy Citizen, and then this would be,
Ordinance.
and things like that on the back, like basic borough information.
That's fine.
So it's not
As
just gonna
far as
be
I'm
like
concerned.
a big mess of,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
two-sided and they're folded, so it's separated.
I like to put clip art on to separate things, but then I get told not to use too much clip art.
Hmm.
On the Halloween, you should use clip art.
Yeah,
On the other stuff, maybe not.
not so much clip art, not so much like fireworks clip art. We'll pass on that. Okay.
That would catch everybody's attention though.
All right. Well, if anybody has anything on the flyer, let me know. Hold on a second. Let me mute Karen before I move on here. Any old business or new business? If not, is there any additional public comment? I don't think anybody's still here. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
All right.
Motion by Mr. Fasay,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Dixon. All is in favor?
Bye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you, guys.
Good night,
I'm
everyone.
gonna shut off
Good
the
night.
recording.
Hey,
Bye. Thank you.
Debbie, I'm running down to do the checks now.
Okay, thank you.